Yes.
So, yes, Rick is a private psychotherapist and Hungarian analyst. He has around 38 years of experience in the field of substance use disorders and chemical dependency. He integrates tarot in his work with patients. He is director of training at C.G. Jung Institute of New England. He is presently a PhD student at Boston Graduate School of Psychoanalysis, where he is working on his dissertation research topic, which focuses on the experience of adult Dalits from India who are eager to discuss their past and who are residing in the United States. His hobbies include calligraphy, photography, tarot, and playing the violin. I have provided a link in the chat to his research project, and you can also navigate through the website for all the information you need about him and his work. So today he is going to provide a lecture on his research topic, which is Dalit research project. Everyone will have an opportunity to ask a question at the end of the session. So please raise your hand before asking question. You will be allowed as per the queue. Thank you very much. I request everybody to welcome Mr. Rick Bouchard to talk on this topic.
Thank you very much. Oop, hold on. Oh my goodness. You know these phones. Oh goodness. Oh, there you are again. I turned it off accidentally. Hello, I'm sorry. It's like these phones with Zoom. Hi, welcome everybody. How are you? Who is the person who just introduced me?
Hi, I'm Vinay.
Vinesh.
Yes.
Vinesh, thank you very much. Excuse me?
Vinay.
Vinay. Okay, thank you. I was just saying thank you, Vinay, very much for introducing me. I am Rick Bouchard, and I am a doctoral student at the Boston Graduate School of Psychoanalysis. And I am doing a dissertation on Dalits who have come from India to America. I am trying to understand their experience of caste, both in India, but moreover, why they chose to come to America, and their experience now while they're in America, particularly as it pertains to caste. I've read things such as the Equality Labs survey and many other things, and they talk about how caste comes with an Indian to America. You can't leave it. But at the same time, I want to know about people's experience here in America and how they're coping with it and how they're experiencing being in America. Let's see. I have about 10 slots to do interviews, but I am certainly willing to take names of people who are still interested, and I may call them down the road if they're interested, because sometimes people drop out. Some people have to go do something instead of the interviews, and they might write to me and say, "I'm sorry, I can't do this after all." And then I'll call somebody who's on my list who may be on the waiting. But otherwise, I'm looking for 10 people. I have 6 right now, and so I'm looking for 4. And to be honest, it would be nice if I could get 4 women Dalits, because I already have 6 men. And so if I had 5 and 5, I'd have a nice balance. I would hope that I have a balance between both perspectives, the male perspective and the female perspective. But as I said, I also would I would respond if you write to me and you say, I'd like to be a part of the study, but you know that, I have just so many slots, and I'm not being rude if I am not able to have you come in. I just have too many people. I will tell you, I've had a wonderful response to this project. It's called Dalits Abroad Research Project, which implies that Dalits have come abroad from India to America. So I just want to tell you a little bit about what the project entails. First off, I want to thank everybody who has decided to be a part of the study. It's really clear to me that Dalits have a very big commitment to make sure that people understand what is going on with the Dalit experience, both in India and America. And people have been so gracious and giving of their time to be a part of this project. So I'm very, very pleased and very happy, very thankful to everybody who has decided to participate in the project. There is a total of 3 hours. That's my email. Mahesh just sent my email, dalitsabroad@icloud.com. And then you can send an email to me if you're interested. Or you can go to my website, which I think Mahesh is probably going to, or already has, entered that into the chat. My website will take you right straight to the page where it explains the project, and it has all the different ways of getting in touch with me. You can either call me, you can text me, you can call me on WhatsApp, you can do Facebook or email. So you have lots of ways to be able to get in touch with me. That's my email, Dalits Abroad. So I want to say there are 3 hours is all I ask. And the first 2 hours is me talking, getting to know you. I want to know what your experience was in India, your experience with being Dalit, then your decision to move to America, your trip here, and now what is happening while you're here in America. So that 2-hour interview goes pretty quickly. And then the second interview is only 1 hour, and I'm going to present a series of pictures to the person and ask them to tell me what's going on in the picture. They are from India. And so this is an opportunity to give me an idea of what's going on in your mind and heart about caste when you look at these pictures. And then that is my structure. That's the 3 hours, and then we're done. I do want to say that, as a thank you to everybody who has participated, I do have a raffle, and I think I'm giving 4 $50 Visa gift cards to a raffle. I put everybody's name in who participated and pick 4, and those people will all get a $50 Visa gift card as a thank you for participating in the research. So at this point, I am open to hearing anybody's questions, and I'll do the best I can. Now, mind you, I'm a student, so I'm not lecturing on caste. You are the experts, and that's one of the reasons I'm asking to have you be a part of the research, because you are teaching me, and then I'm writing my dissertation. Maybe someday I'd like to turn it into a book, but I can't tell what the future is going to hold. I'll do the best I can to get the word out, even if it's in articles in publications and stuff like that. So does anybody have any questions?
Well, Rick Bouchard, am I spelling it properly?
You are.
Good evening. I'm from India, Mysore, calling. I'm basically a space scientist, retired from Indian Space Research Organization. I belong to the Dalit community, and I have seen a little of international situation, because I am now infodemic manager under WHO and UNDP innovative for COP26 and 27. This is my little background. Okay. My congratulations for you for embarking upon a very important area. I think your research work is important from 3-4 points. Number one, there's a big gap of practice and theory. The first generation Dalits having a big gap of having Buddha and Ambedkar philosophically or integrated to the lifestyle, number one. So your research definitely will give an insight. The second positive thing I find in your research is, for example, America, dreamland, and I'm shocked actually when caste Hindus in American universities also practice discrimination by putting hand on the shoulder of the new incumbents to find out whether they have got a sacred thread, Janivara, that sort of a practice. It could really open up in an indirect way. The third and the last positive issue I find is the cultural adaptations. See, when you have a cross-cultural exposure, how much they live through, that would be a very great concern. And nowadays, the caste Hindus are migrating back to India after their exposure and making some money, things like that. So how does it matter to the Dalits who come to America or a developed world? That would be, these are the 3 points which I can immediately think of. And coming back to the risks involved in such studies is, that also I must mention in a scientific way, when we want to take a small sample, what is the sample size you are looking at is 10, if I'm right, you're taking 10 number, okay? Maybe this 10 could be a representative sample, as I hope you are understanding that, and you're doing in that way. What is required is, there is so much of a problem in India as of now. 75 years, science is not taught in the mother tongue, for example. Women don't have access to water, drinking water. In fact, recently in the Paris UNESCO headquarters UN Water Summit, I raised this issue. Women are not having accessibility to drinking water in India. 75 years independent India. And all the politicians are telling we will make your Atma better, Atma Nirbhar. Are kaun sa Atma kiska hai? In Hindi, whose Atma and who is. So I want to conclude by saying that I'm a student of sustainable development, now climate adaptation. See, enabling an individual and community for them to take care of their wellness is very vital. Enabling an individual or a community to take care of themselves is real development. Baba Sahib Ambedkar was very clear. He was very clear. Navayana was found out because of that. All the aberrations in the different, sectors. I had a long discussion in Japan, the Buddhist monk. You see, we are living through, but the point is, most of the time I find a very disappointing note. People living in it, not living through. There are two differences. It's a subtle difference. So what? What next? That sort of a cultural adaptation may be worthwhile. I wish you all the best, and you're most welcome to contact me with whatever little I know I would like to share.
Well, that's very nice of you, Jagannatha. I would like to ask you if you can tell me what number 3 was again. You were talking about number 3.
Dhamma?
I didn't.
Dhamma?
Number 3. What was number 3 again?
First is Buddha. Second is Dhamma. Third one, Sangha.
No. You said that there were three things. One is the practice and theory. The second was dreamland, and the third was, and I missed the third one.
Oh, what is the alternative? What is the way? What is the way out? What should be my way out? That sort of way, If a person can visualize, given the vision of Buddha and pathway by Ambedkar, what is my refinement? What is my clarity to have a vision, to have an agenda, to have a lifestyle? What is the way out? That should be, living through, it should be inculcated. I'm only visualizing an hypothetical situation. That could be the way out.
Well, thank you very much, Jagannatha. That was very nice of you to say that and to also offer your services.
I'm always welcome, because as a student, I have experienced untouchability. Even though I was a fast bowler for the college and played 5 years for the college. And I'm a cyclist. I'm an environmentalist, and I have grown out today. And at home, we have got a better carbon footprint. We have a solar and wind at the home for electricity, and we have wetland, we have kitchen biogas plant. We do the best possible climate resilient approach. And it can happen. I am a student of Sir Henry David Thoreau, the great naturalist of America 150 years ago, who said, what is the use of a beautiful house if you don't have a decent planet to put it on?
Yeah.
After 150, and he taught Gandhi non-cooperation movement, but he went the negative side. He wanted Mahabharata to be the constitution. You see, that is the problem. That's the problem. We have very good, intelligent people in the caste, but they don't live through. They try to mutilate the philosophy, and nothing like Baba Sahib's clarity. You see, I mean, that is what is required actually. We are all part of that vision. A small portion of Ambedkar is in each one of us. Only thing we have to come out, because at our home we don't have any God photos at home. We have only one Buddha. You see? And my mother-in-law should be thanked. She was Upasaki for 30 years. She cultivated such a culture in her granddaughters. Today, one is a surgeon. She wants to be one of the topmost surgeon in the India. Another is an architect doing environmental psychology at UK. And the third one, the first one, of course, she's a Zumba international national trainer for health fitness. See, you give, and Vashnik is warning me, please be on the topic. This is the problem. You see, interrelatedness and interdependence is important. Time is always a constraint. Time kills us. Any original thinking. Anyway, I don't have any issue. I will stop at this. Let us be in touch. I will put my email in the chat box. You're most welcome to be in touch. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jagannatha.
Thank you, Jagannatha, for your question. The next question we have from Dr. Sheetal Mishra.
Yeah, thank you, Vinay. And thank you very much, Rick, for taking up this subject for study. I don't have much of a question for the topic as such, but I just wanted to make a comment related to something that I think, or I wanted to suggest should be included in the study, which is why do caste Hindus bring their caste with them? Why they are not able to adopt the principles of life which is present in, let's say, in US? And that aspect is coming to them from their religious text. And it is written in their religious text as to how they need to behave socially. And are there any studies or part of your study kind of conducting towards that as to why that behavior they continue, or what impact it will have, or something like that? That is something I wanted to touch upon and check with you if that is part of the study too. Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you. I hope I pronounced your name right. Pankaj.
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay.
sir. Yeah.
I do want to say that I have been, I've gone back and forth with deciding to include some caste Hindus in the interview process. However, it'll take a longer time to finish my project, and I want to get the Dalit story and experience. But it has been mentioned several times that it would be interesting to get to the caste Hindus perspective in this study. As I said, if I did, it would lengthen the time that I'm doing my work, and this can be long enough as it is. But I also think that what I'm hearing you, correct me if I'm wrong, Pankaj, is that it's about opening up a dialogue between caste Hindus and Dalits. It would be nice to hear them say so, be able to answer that question themselves, no?
Yes, sir. I'm trying to see that even if they are able to see something better side of a society, they are not able to adapt to it. They are okay to behave equally and expect Americans to behave with them in the same way, right? But they themselves are not willing to behave to a Dalit, their co-worker or whoever they are interacting with in their hierarchical structure, who is Dalit to them. They are not willing to pass on those privileges, and they do not see this Hippocratic behavior in their minds, or this hypocrisy in their mind, and that is purely, in my opinion, is purely rooted in their religious thoughts. So these people will go out and say like, oh, there is discrimination against Asians, there is discrimination against Indian, and they talk about like, oh, we don't get admission into Harvard as much as we would like to, right? And they would kind of put up their fight for that. So they wanted society to treat them equally, but in their behavior towards Dalits especially, they don't see that they are acting hypocritically. And as to why is that, especially you are coming from a psychology background, I'm just kind of trying to see if, is there a part of your study that is going to touch upon as to why that psychology exists in their mind. Yes. How much of an impact that would have to even correct this problem. I mean, I think that's the biggest hindrance they are carrying.
Yeah. Well, Pankaj, I want to also say that I have also had that same question. You know, for example, the concept of ahimsa, do no harm, yet much harm has been done to the Dalit community, and that is an interesting contradiction. I would like to learn about that. Would you agree?
Yes, yeah, but I think just studying Hinsa and the concept of Hinsa would be just a subset in my mind. I'm just trying to see their overall behavior, and because of they don't see that hypocrisy in their mind, they tend to take it to those extremisms where Hinsa becomes like a supported path to exert their superiority, because
Correct.
It's put it into their textbooks or whatever their religious books. And it is just not that method. They would adopt other approaches as well, right? They would put up rules for say, for example, women not to do this. Those rules came from those sort of conceptual things. And today, although they are not allowed to, are not able to follow those rules, like, say, for example, their religious book would tell them women are not allowed to be taught, or they cannot be educated, while all the Hindus today are doing it. But they don't see, like, as per their religion, they are not even Hindus, if that is what is being considered. So they are not following their Hindu religion that their grandfathers or great-grandfathers followed, which was to kind of go by the book and not allow women to be educated, or burning their widows with the body of their husband. So those rules that were the religious rules that they are not following, and they are not even true Hindus to that essence. Do they see that contradiction? They are still trying to kind of exert some Hinduism which gives them superiority and somebody else, or gives them control over somebody else.
Thank you.
And then they would interact with whatever means they can exert that superiority, right? Being it violently or being whichever way. Then, yeah. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate your topic, and all the best. Really looking forward to your research updates and book if possible.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pankaj, sir. I actually second that thought that Pankaj put forward. I actually had the same same thing that I was going to mention. So the people, the Hindu caste, upper caste people, they try to play the victim of racism here in the United States, but the same people will openly practice casteism back in India. So it will be very helpful for your research if you also include those people in your study, that why they do such things. If they do they bring casteism when they travel to United States. So that's only I wanted to say. The next question we have from Vivek, sir.
Hello, Jai Bhim, and Rick, thank you for coming to this session and your interest in studying this, doing this research. And my question is, can you tell us as an audience, that why you have taken this subject as a research topic, what interests you and why? Okay, and what is the outcome that you are looking at, usually, and what do you plan to do with the study that once your research is completed?
Okay, thank you, Vivek. I would like to say that I have always had an interest and attraction to India, its people, its culture, spirituality, religion. And when I first learned about untouchability, I got even more interested, particularly given the what seemed to me to be a contradiction between philosophy of the caste Hindus or the projection of people think about India, and then yet this is going on. This is something that's very interesting but disturbing to me that this goes on. I went to India myself, and I want to go back. I ended up I went to Jaipur, Agra, Hyderabad, Mumbai, and Goa, or Goa, then Mumbai. And I want to go back. I want to understand untouchability and caste oppression and the psychological and religious aspects that are involved in it. As you know, we have a strong racism here in America, but you can't compare the racism here in America with the experience of Dalits in India. But I do want to understand oppression, particularly in a country where it's been going on for so long. And what's interesting is that I'm learning even more now that I'm doing my research with you. I'm learning so much more. You teach me something every time I speak to an Indian from India, Dalit. I learn so much. So what is my final result? Well, obviously it's to get my doctorate, but I have come to realize that I would like. I feel as though I need to not stop at the dissertation. So I'd like to do more to get the word out, to educate. Of course, I'm not an expert, and I don't ever purport to be an expert. I did not grow up in India. I did not grow up Dalit. I can only try to understand your experience through your stories and through what you tell me. But I would like to get the word out, whether it's through writing articles or lecturing or teaching in India. So I don't know. I just know that I'm attracted to that. And I don't exactly know what my future will hold in terms of what I'll actually do, but I do have an interest. I also, I would love to work with Dalits as a psychologist here in Maine. But I have not had anybody call me. I don't reach out to them. They have to call me as a psychologist. They call and set up an appointment. Did I answer your question, Vivek?
Yes. Okay. But I do have some follow-up question, something to that. As you said, like you visited India and you also touched upon the race, where it's pretty visible. The race is very visible in nature. You can differentiate white versus black. And how do you see, and what is your experience? Because the caste is a very subtle form of operation, something that is not seen. Okay, and how do you see it, and what is your experience? Because these things would help you in study, as well. I understand. I'm not an academic person, just as a community person that I understand. Even in America, when we discuss about things, the caste is a form of like a subtle operation. Something is that cannot be seen. How do you see, and what is your experiences when you went back and the cities that you named, and you found some form of discrimination? Can you elaborate on this, and how do you see and how do you define the caste, and how do you make it presentable to America?
It sounds like you had a couple questions in there. I'd like to know if you can clarify which one you want me to ask. You had mentioned something about how did I see it in India, and how do I want to present it? Could you clarify, please?
Yeah. So that's what, how do you, your experiences in India as a caste, when you are comparing race, that is something, is pretty easily explained, because we can see through it, black versus white. Caste cannot be seen through unless the person who experiences it. Okay. What was your experience when you visited India? Okay. And how do you explain it to America, when you are talking in a social forum, that the caste oppression is there? Because the Americans don't understand there's a caste. Like we came here from India, we came from this untouchable community. With education and the benefits that we had, and the opportunities that we received, we were able to come here. We wanted to explain the caste. People, people are not able to understand this oppression exists because it's not seen through the race.
That makes much more sense. I thank you. And your question, I may not be able to answer today, but it certainly is something that I want to keep in mind when I write. How did I experience India how did I experience caste in India compared to race? And your point that race untouchability, or this is not visible like being a Black person, and yet it does follow somebody. I do want to say that the other night I was thinking about my project, and there's these stereotypes people make about certain other, the Black, the Dalit, they consider them other. But those stereotypes, if you explore and meet with and talk to, they're stereotypes. They're not true. And yet they continue to follow people and try to hold them back. So there's a contradiction that, for instance, many of the people that I'm meeting from India, were able to make accomplishments and come to America and teach and so on and so forth. That is very impressive. And yet I would think that some people might not think that that's possible, but it is. So they have to understand that caste is something much more subtle than something that you can see. Does that make sense, Vivek?
Yeah, I'm just trying to take your point, your understanding, because you are drawn into this subject and the research about the untouchability, and I just wanted to understand your perspective, how you look at it, whether you experience or, why are you drawn into this study, which is good. We appreciate your effort to understand the operation on Dalits, and the plight of the Dalits, what's happening in India, and bringing it to, in the USA. So that is really remarkable efforts you are doing. Just trying to understand your perspective, your viewpoint, when you visited India, what drawn into this that you felt is a need for you to do study on this subject.
I have two answers to that now that I've heard your last question. I want to say that when I was in India, there was something that struck me. And that is, I wanted to be helpful to those who came to me while I was walking the streets. Say somebody was begging, or they came while I was in a rickshaw and, asking. I wanted to give. And the guide that I was with told me not to, because it disrupts the structure that is in place. And I found that very disturbing, that, if I wanted to help, or I had some extra food or something, he spoke as a caste Hindu, as if you have to keep the structure in place. So that's one thing. The second thing is that I think that we cannot understand another person unless we understand that part of ourselves. And so doing this project, I have come to understand my own untouchability, my own experiences of being untouchable in my own American ways. That helps me gain empathy and understanding. And I'd also like to say, Vivek, that I'm a student and I'm still in process, and I may have a very different answer for you at the end of the year. After I've done all my interviews and after I've written and more reading, I may have different answers for you. So I'm trying to answer your question, but at the same time, I'm still learning.
No problem. We're just trying to make you, try to be helpful to you. It just because the moment you have that empathy towards one particular group of people, understanding the plight of those people, it will make your research successful. Otherwise, it will be only academic portion. You will get your PhD, and not useful to the community. And we wanted to see what drawn into that, that your experiences would be beneficial to the community itself. Rather than just be a research project in the book, it becomes a functional document. And so that's what I wanted to understand your perspective. So I think that's fine. I wish you well, and hope your research become a successful document and really becomes a functional document rather, to make people understand in America and even at the international forum.
Yeah.
And so I see there are a lot of hands up, so I would retract my comments, but you can certainly comment if you like to. That's fine. Yeah, thank you.
Your comments, Vivek, have been very helpful, and I've made notes, and I'm going to take that in and do the best I can to include that empathy and compassion in my writing, and not just make it an academic adventure.
Thank you, Vivek, sir. The next question is from Megha.
Yeah, hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Good morning, Megha.
Hello, good morning, Rick. Thanks for choosing to talk and discuss about this topic.
Yes.
I had certain things to tell you. I was trying to see if you are aware of the 4 varnas in the Hindu caste or Hindu religion. So based on the varnas is what was determined, and like they're like higher caste and then lower caste. So you call the privileged people were the higher caste, and the Dalits came in the lower caste. So I will also say, like, now it's high time that Dalits are referred as the new Buddhists, because Dalits were referred when they were part of Hinduism. But Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar has made the Dalits accept Buddhism. So now we are the Buddhists. We are no longer the Dalits. So I think everybody should be highly educated to, refer everybody who belongs to this community as the new Buddhists.
I like that, Megha.
Yes, I wanted to tell you, like, this is very important, because I think somewhere it gets lost, but this topic is so huge. And then you also need to know, like, why reservation started. It's because of these 4 varnas that the higher privileged people had access to the opportunities to study and work as they liked, but the lower caste people were oppressed. They did not have the opportunity to education or study religion. And Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar saw that since the lower caste people were not even allowed to visit the temples or even drink water from the lakes. So there is a revolution when the Britishers had come to India, and the lower caste people, like people who belong to my community, were wearing a broom when they used to walk. They used to have a broom attached to them. So wherever they walk, they're cleaning the dirt along with them wherever they're walking. But when we merged with the Britishers, and we had to fight against the Hindu people to get the brooms away. So this is one of the event that happened in history, that the Dalits had to fight with the Hindu people to take the brooms away from their body. Otherwise, every place they were going, they had to attach the brooms to their body.
Yes, I'm aware of that story. Yes.
And then also for the water, there is a Mahad Lake incident or event, not an incident, where that's the first time that they drank water from the lake. And they thought that it's their right to drink water and access water. And also, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar has studied so many religions. He thought that our community does not have to belong or follow Hinduism now. So he studied various religions that he had access to. And then he thought that accepting Buddhism will be the easiest and most peaceful way for my community to follow, because it does not bind anyone with any kind of restrictions. Like if you go to other religions, like you have to attend the temples or do some ceremonies or practice some traditions, which is going to take some time. But it was that the people of the lower caste were so oppressed, and they wanted the lower caste to match up and progress and reach the higher caste people, like come to the same level. So he wanted Buddhism to give them that state of mind and also not waste time in all the practices. Just focus on making yourself better and progress and match up.
Very nice. Very nice very helpful, Baba. Very, very helpful, Megha.
Yeah, also like now in India, I will say like, I also have an incident from my sister but this is about Australia. I know you're talking about America, but my sister got scholarship. So in Indian government, they also provide scholarship to my community to go abroad and do their study. My sister got scholarship to go to Australia. And so she did not have to pay fees for the college. Now there's another person who went from the same place my sister went. So he did not belong to our community, but he knew that she got scholarship. So wherever they would meet, he would just spread it around to everybody that she belongs to this community and she came here with scholarship. So it had put so much of strain on her mental health that she had even become suicidal, because people had started oppressing her, saying that only because you belong to this community that you got scholarship, and we have come taking loans on our houses, and our parents have taken abundant loan or mortgage, things like that. So she was oppressed only for the caste reasons, and she had become suicidal. But that was when she was in Australia. There are even people here in US that I'm hearing, because I have my cousin in California, and she's hearing things where now the Hindus are getting aware that we have scholarships for people of my community to go study abroad. So if people come to know that we belong to this community, the first question they have is, oh, did you come here through scholarship? So they think that we don't have the specific skill set, but we are just coming here based on just because we belong to this community.
Yes.
This gives them more opportunity for them to oppress.
Agreed. Thank you, Megha.
Yeah.
Very helpful. Very helpful. Very helpful stories.
Yeah, I hope I gave you some more good points to write for your book.
You did. You did.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Put forward some good points. One of them is like, as a student, you have always like considered as a category and who got the scholarship, and so they like because they like do not really see the trouble that we are going through, all the like it's just like we have here in like what we like in school, like bullying of people, right?
Yes.
Like that's a huge problem in United States, that have like have got students to like get suicidal and do some like get into the crime. right? That's a huge problem in India. But now the student from like lower caste, they get bullied, just not like in every direction. Okay, the student is like being called, okay, you don't have right to study because God says that, the tradition says that. That's a very like that for a student hearing that, that put that student to a very lowest mindset. Okay, why did God created me to be a lower caste person, to be a person who do not have right to get an education? So that kind of thinking comes to a student's mind when someone says that, right? So it's like they don't consider that part. They just like see, okay, he belongs to this caste and he's getting a reservation. But they never think why this person is getting a reservation. So
Yeah, I
thank you.
also wanted to say some things that Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar has not only had reservations for just our community, he has done a lot of work for different sections of the society, including only women as well. He has worked for every section of the society. He has also done reservation for people who are from the lower caste but who are not Dalits. He has also worked for the women of the India, where they get to have paid leaves, compensation when they get pregnant and they want to take maternity leaves. And there are a lot of things that he's worked on. But there's also hypocrisy in India where it's only the people of the Dalit community who are the new Buddhist. They pay gratitude to Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. No one else who has even got privilege, they do not have gratitude, neither do they have knowledge. The only thing that they are upset about is that the people of the Dalit community get reservations. But this is half knowledge and this is hypocrisy. Also, in every sector, like even in the government sectors, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar has created reservation for people of different castes, for the lowest caste people. Like they need to have certain number of people to be working in that sector. But the upper caste people, due to politics, sometimes they say that there are no seats available and the seats are full. So even if the seats are available, sometimes the upper caste people declare that there are no seats available. It's got full. So and then now, as you study slowly, the number of reservation seats are also getting to minimum in India.
You know, I wanted to say something. I was working for a hospital, and it was having some problems, and we hired a consultant to come in, and they asked a very important question, and they said, you know, while you're trying to fix the situation, can you also talk about what was working well that you might want to work toward? And what I want to, that's called appreciative inquiry. You appreciate what was going well. And what I want to say is that, you know, I have met some very interesting Dalit individuals here in America. And one thing that I will say is that the resilience is very impressive. The resilience to be able to overcome some of their experiences and be able to come to America and live a different life. I spoke to somebody not too long ago about how the word Dalit originally meant broken people, but both he and I agreed that Dalits are not broken. You know, in fact, they're resilient, creative, articulate, and so I would like to be able to hear stories about resilience as well, about how a person had the drive to make a difference in their life. And so I want to also say, you know, Megha, it was nice to hear you talk. I don't have enough women representation in the study, and I'd like to change that. I'd like to be able to get more women to have to hear their stories as well. I'm done.
I don't know if I have experienced that because I grew up in a city called Pune, and I think people are more open-minded there. But I think all the oppression, or maybe I was lucky enough that I didn't face oppression growing up in Pune. So I mean, I had this story about my sister that I shared, but apart from that, in the US, I don't know. It's very early for me to say to speak up on this. I mean,
Sure.
I'm pretty open. I'm pretty open. I have a Buddha statue at my home, and I'm pretty open to tell them that who I am, where I belong from. But sometimes what matters to people is like how I am as an individual.
Yes.
But if you have any questions, we can always talk.
Oh.
Based on what I know, I can always give you some insight, which would help you for your book.
Thank you. How will I get people's contact? Because I have not been able to keep track of the text. Mahesh, do you have any idea how I might get?
Yes, Rick, I think I'm going to send you some of the contact. They mentioned that they will be the part of your research. I think there is a Kalpana, but she can speak up also. That will be great. And text of your contact to her. Again, we are not forcing people to join, but it is their willingness to be part of this research study. And the friends, the Rick is reaching out to our community from last 1 month, but he was not able to get the good number of people. Even the 10 people coming to write the story is very hard to him. He just mentioned that only 6 people enrolled. And we have such a big community here. And I request each and everyone, especially the woman that the Rick is looking for, because again, the history that he's writing, that history need to be written and it need to be documented somewhere. And the Rick, again, I just want to highlight one more thing. The story that you are writing is not the first time. You mentioned that the Equality Labs, they did generate the big data, and there are 200 plus number of people who interviewed by that Equality Labs, and we are part of that research also. And
Yes.
what James mentioned, the Jagannath ji mentioned before, and I would like to take his word also, because that only 10 number 10 in your survey or writing the history is not enough. So I will encourage you to also take more numbers. If you get the more numbers from our community, please add those, because if data is more, you will get the difference of the statistics so that if you are going to analyze those. Because everyone has their own way of saying things, and also the experience they come up with is different, because some are from the city, some are from the privileged communities, some are from the farming community, so everyone experiences different things. So I will encourage you to add more data, more number of people instead of 10. And if you not get data, I will help you out to try to connect with the community. Because we have a good number of people in the United States and also in Canada. So numbers is better. So hopefully you will get those numbers, and hopefully the women participation that you are looking to your research should be add up the value, because they face more discrimination than men. I mean, that will help you.
Yes, my question is about that. I'm Kalpana, Rick. This is Kalpana. I put my name for your research study. I would like to be part of your study. And I emailed you my email ID, and you can call me and we can talk. But my question is like, because if we talk about the caste is not only, it is a set of mind, and it is a conscious and subconscious. So that what even this year's, whatever we have experienced, what we are, caste is in a womb, and hand in hand, caste go with the patriarchy. So are you looking into the psychological perspective of patriarchal and caste system? What exactly you're looking into?
Oh, this is a very good question. Am I pronouncing you right? Kalpana?
Kalpana, yes, Kalpana.
Kalpana. you know, I am actually, as a psychologist, looking at the unconscious effects of caste. So absolutely, I'm glad you brought that up, because it's a very important part, and that is the unconscious aspects of caste.
Because it is a spectrum. You won't say it is all spectrum. It's a big, huge umbrella which come under, and it goes through. It's a very holistic view for looking into the psychological point of view. I am personally interested in psychology. That's my genre of interest. I am a teacher myself. And I as a teacher, like I deal with the small minds. I'm an elementary school teacher, so I always look into all these details, and I make and even you said, like I heard you said, like it's casteism and racism, but I would say the casteism and racism is a parallel stories. It is a parallel. It goes parallel. Just the caste is more holistic, more. I would say more into, it's a big umbrella. The caste is a small, racism is an umbrella you can see, but the caste is umbrella you won't see. But it is a similar thing. What I face as when I see as a kids in a classroom, as well as outside in the society too.
Yes. Now, I wanted to thank you very much, and I'm very glad that you're going to be sending me your email. I did want to say that I happened to see the word offended in the I saw the word offended in the chat, and I hope that no one is offended about anything that I had said or that I was presenting. I am still a student and I'm still learning, but I don't know if we want to give that person some chance to talk. I believe it was a woman, and if this could be a very good contribution to the discussion. I just want to make sure that it's not ignored. Well, if that individual wants to be a part of the study, by all means, maybe that will give them a chance to talk about their story. I also, to be able to tell their story and understand, get better understanding. I also want to say that I don't want just the horror stories, the bad stories. I know those are definitely a part of the Dalit experience. But I spoke to another Dalit who said that they did not have those experiences, and I said, your experience is just as valuable to me. That you had a different experience of caste, and you are still here. So I'm looking for both, and I think that that would be making for a more balanced picture in the research, without taking away the experience of the oppression.
All right. The thing is actually. Not everybody get the benefits of reservation and scholarship. Some even for like to become qualified to like for the scholarship, you have to be like top of the top, right? The students who like get scholarship to study in United States, there is a like list of eligibility. The university must be like, for example, there was the guy who is studying in Johns Hopkins University. He had the requirement on the requirement. He got the scholarship because he was one of the top universities that come in US ranking above like 50. So in the world ranking, that university was in top 50. So that kind of requirement. They had to like apply to get the qualification of to get qualified for this scholarship. Also like the scholarship that we get in India itself, not everybody gets it. So some students they won't have the opportunity to get the benefit of scholarship. So there are examples who have done without reservation and without scholarship. They have also done good. They have also like get into the good colleges, and they have like have left the tag of being called SC and being called in the reserve category. They are like coming as a like totally as a like just open as a open and as a just making themselves as a Buddhist. So so if so those kind of like generally does not get the does not get the chance to get the benefit of scholarship. We have next question from Megha.
Hi, Rick.
Hi, Megha.
So I would like to tell like what is my experience. Many experiences are there. One I would tell. When I was working in Kerala, one girl was there from higher caste, and she had a temple at her home, old temple, and she told like they were taught to give spoiled food to untouchables, and a very religious upper caste family, and they brought that culture from long, and they are just running that culture. Although that girl is good, she was sensible enough to speak, that's why she was speaking. But it is like why to change the mindset, why to change the culture, and the kind of civilization they have created in India is like in this civilization we just need someone slave who can work for us. Whatever work we will offer them, they should be able to do that, and that will only happen if those people are very poor and they don't have money, they don't have any choice. And to have that situation ready, this civilization has been created in such a way. So this is just a culture, and they think like this is the right culture, because the person if you want someone to clean your home, your washrooms, a person who is financially well to do will not be ready to do that. And that's how they have created this civilization. And reservation is just a reason and excuse they choose all the time. Many other communities are also getting reservation, but they are not facing casteism at all. And in fact, they themselves also are casteist. So it is not possible, like, see, if 100 people are there, and if 13 people are only belong to our community, untouchable community, and only those 13 people are facing problem, and no one is coming in between and saving them, it simply means everyone is casteist except our own people. So this is my observation. See, it is not possible, like I'm standing here, one person is coming and doing wrong with someone who is standing next to me, and I will sit quiet. That will not happen, because I have that thing in me, like I just cannot see this. But it is not happening when wrong is happening with our own people. It was really, I really felt bad when Megha was telling things, but it is happening, and we need to understand, like our own people from backward community are supporting them. Otherwise it is not possible, like 13 people are only facing problem and only 10 people are Savarnas. If you see, higher caste, upper caste people are only 10%, we are only 13, and what rest of the people are doing? If rest of the people are not saving 13% people, it simply means they are also casteist, and everyone just want to survive. If you see the biggest backward community, OBCs, they don't want to be on top. They don't want to be a owner of a temple and have good money with them. They just want to be where they are, and they are happy to see scheduled caste people, untouchable people facing problem. So the main strength why this is happening is backward people who are major, who are in big population, are supporting this thing. If they will they will stop doing this, I don't think 10% people can do all these things. So we need to understand this mathematics. And this reservation which they are taking, like people don't have marks and they are getting the positions and all favors and all, I would like to tell, you know, what kind of person you are, it really matters. In UP, top doctors, Mishra, Shukla, they all have sold poor people's kidneys in international market. So if people say just because they are on merit, so they are very good people, so I don't think that is correct. See, you became doctor, you became surgeon, you are able to operate, do the operations, and you can transfer kidneys from one body to another. And what you are doing at last? You sold poor people's kidneys, and now what government can do? Even if that racket has been there and they caught people and all, you are not going to return the kidneys of poor people, no? They already made millions of money. So I don't think marks should be the criteria, and representation is very much needed. because see, the Dr. Mishra, who belonged to upper caste community, he had no feelings while pulling kidneys from poor people's bodies. So that feeling is very much required. So education is just not to make money. It is all about being good human being as well. So culture, money, everything has to go together, and respect is just a common sense. So I think representation is not just needed because we belong to backward community or we were suppressed. It is also needed for the safety of our community. If my community
Yes.
brother is a doctor, definitely he will not sell my body organs. So that safety is very much needed. Representation, even if we are financially well-to-do, I would say like representation would be needed even at that moment as well, because we never know tomorrow who will sell our body organs. So that is there. And another thing, in colleges, if these things are happening, then definitely our representation should be more over there. If one girl is alone in college, then definitely she will get suicidal thoughts. It is very natural. It shouldn't happen. I really felt so bad.
Yes.
And to make this all stop, like how China has that thing, like they want to rule the entire world. So same way, Hindus also want casteism to be considered as a normal culture. At present, US offices and all, they're all Christian people. They are all good. Corporate culture is really good. So we are safe. Inside office, we are always safe. But as and when Hindus, Savarnas, people will be on top, at present, we are seeing like from India, I think 90%, 95% people are belong to this upper caste Hindu community only. And at present, owners and all, they are all Christian people, US people, so life is good. But by any reason, if Hindus will be on top, I think entire world will become casteist, that culture will come. At present, Hindus are very good in offices because they know the main directors, board members, everyone, they all majorly belong to US, UK. So that is the reason they are controlling themselves and behaving good. I think it should be like, it should never happen like on board or in any managing committee. Hindus should be more. If Hindus will be more, I think things would change. At present, representation is needed, and main residents, native people of US, UK, if they are on board, I think things will be in control.
Thank you. I wanted to say a couple of things. First off, it seems like this is a very, very emotional topic, and I'm very aware of that. It brings up a great deal of emotions, all kinds of emotions, positive and negative. I wanted to say something about the fact that I'm only interviewing 10. I had originally decided I wanted to interview more, but I realized how much time each one of them takes. So I am trying to be careful of, the economy of my time to make sure that I have enough time to do it. If I am at the end where I've done 10 and I want more information, and hopefully have people that I can contact that says, and say, it looks like I'm going to be opening up 5 more spots. Would you be interested? I'm only one person, as you know, and this is a very, very big topic. And I mean, look at Equality Labs, the huge numbers that they reached and the work that they continue to do. So I hope to be able to make a dent in it as much as I am able to. The other thing I just want to let people know is that I'm interviewing people during the month of January, February, and March. I want to try and get my interviews done by then. So if you're interested, that would be the schedule, hopefully, to try to get it done during the next 3 months so that I can analyze the data and write and see where I may be missing information and then be able to go out and get it again with other people.
Thank you.
Yes, Megha.
Thank you, Megha, and thank you everyone for joining this call. And please reach out to Rick via email or maybe a text to his cell phone. His contact information is on his website. You can go there. and please join, help him and help him on his research. I guess we have another question from Jagannatha sir. So Jagannatha, please go ahead.
No, I will take only 30 seconds. You see, Rick, I have got on final observation. See, kindly keep Gail Omdevet works on reservation a pioneering work in the Indian context. Over decades, she has come to India, stayed here, and that is a classical work. Gail Omdevet. That will give you the genesis, practice, and the various issues associated with reservation. You see, it traces almost many decades, maybe a century even. Kindly keep that because your sample size is very small. And if you want to really, if you really want to have a qualitative output, emotional outputs may not help. So you kindly take this scientific because today or tomorrow or forever, Ambedkar, Jai Bhim stands out because of the scientific perspectives relevant to culture. It is UNESCO which said science and culture hinge each other. Science and culture cannot be different. So please take these two words which I want to share with you. I wish you all the best.
Can you tell me the name of her book? I got Gail M. Vet.
Yeah. So it
And
is the name of the. No, she has done a very good number of books in Economical and Political Weekly in India, and she has published many books. You kindly search her name in the web, you'll be able to get a lot of titles. It's a very, very classical work. In fact, I know it because my brother was involved. As a doctor, he was involved with her in doing some groundwork here. Gail Omdevet. Okay?
Yes, I got that. Thank you very much.
So kind of. Wish you all the best. I will be
Thank
in touch with you by email with whatever little I know. It's a good
Thank
work.
you very much. Thank you.
All the best. All the best. All the best. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jagannatha sir. So looks like there is no question further. So thank you very much, Rick, for working on this research. I think that will be very beneficial to put forward the caste issue in front of United States of America or maybe the world. So thank you very much for doing that.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It was very nice of you, and I hope that my